Hello, lovelies. Let's talk some more about the lies that abuse teaches us. I asked you to watch the video broadcast from a couple years ago, and that was the first time that I'd ever talked about the lies that abuse teaches us. But the more that I've worked with survivors since then, the more I've realized how important it is for us to realize the lies that are going on inside our head and to call them out as lies and replace them with the truth. And we've talked about recoding your brain now for a couple of weeks. So we need to know what those lies are that are inside our head, and we need to reprogram our brain with truths. And so the lies that I talk about that abuse teaches us, there are 4 of them. And they are, I think, the core belief system that our abusers and their enablers program into our brain. Okay? They are, the abuse was my fault. I should be ashamed of myself. I'm not worthy or lovable. And I'm powerless. Okay? Those 4 things. So what I want to do today is to show you with an analogy how that all kind of comes together. So what I have, and I did this today, I made sheets of paper, and on the top is the lie, and then on below are the statements that I was told or taught. Oh, my hair's all wonky. That reinforced that lie. Okay? So the lie, the abuse was my fault. And what I was told that had me coding that lie into my brain was, you tricked me into sinning. God caused the abuse. Your parents wouldn't have done that to you unless you were bad. Okay? I could have come up with so many more, but those were some key ones that I was told as a child that had me believing the abuse was my fault, that had me coding that into my brain. Okay, let's look at another one. So you're unlovable or unworthy. Some of us, it went as far as to say, you're worth hating. So this one I did a little funky. It was the first one I did, so bear with me. You're unlovable, okay? And sometimes these lies are taught to us by behavior, not necessarily the words, okay? So when my first husband left me for another woman, that taught me that I'm not good enough, that I'm not lovable, that I'm not worthy. My second husband told me that I was damaged goods. My parents used to say, why can't you be like your sister? How many of us heard that? And then no one wants to love someone who is so sad. I've had a therapist tell me that, and I think in one of the hospital programs that I was in too. All of those are messages that cause me to code into my brain that I'm not lovable. Okay? All right, so here you go. This one is, oh, my phone's going to be noisy, sorry. I should be ashamed of myself. Okay? And I was told things like, you're disgusting, you're too fat, you should be ashamed. I don't know how many times I heard that in my childhood. My parents parenting was shame-based. Okay? So everything that they didn't like me to do or didn't want me to do, they used shame to keep me from doing it. You eat like a pig. My dad used to say that one to me. All of those caused me to be ashamed of myself. And remember, shame is never a healthy emotion. It's always toxic, because shame says that we as people are bad. Okay? It doesn't say, I made a mistake and spilled the milk. It doesn't say, I did something wrong. Shame says, I am wrong. Okay? That's the difference between shame and guilt. Shame says you are wrong as a person, as a human being. Guilt says I did something that was wrong. Okay, so shame is never healthy, absolutely never, any time. If you feel yourself feeling shame, that's always something that you can chuck to the curb, because it's never, ever a healthy emotion. Okay, so paper towel tube. I'm going to put it this way. I hope that you can read them. This symbolizes the powerlessness. Okay, I'm not powerful. So I was taught I was not powerful by statements like, you need my help to do things, or you can't do that. How many times I've been told that one. You can't not talk to me. Okay, sometimes if we tried to set boundaries between ourselves and our abusers or enablers, it's like, what do you mean you're not going to talk to me? You can't not talk to me. And then, of course, the old standby, you're weak. Okay? When we were children, we didn't have a lot of power, so circumstances kind of taught us that as well. But now as adults, we have power. But we lived so much of our life being taught that we were powerless, that it's really hard for us as adults to take our power back. Okay, so here's power. Here's the powerlessness. So let's see if that'll stand up there. Ooh, it did. Okay, so now I'm going to take each one of my personal beliefs, my personal statements that led to my believing that I'm not worthy, that I'm to blame for the abuse, and that I should be ashamed of myself. Okay, I'm going to roll those up. Hope that's not too loud. Okay, I'm going to put them inside that paper towel tube. Okay, so they're in here now. And the reason I do that is because now powerlessness protects all of the lies. Okay, so if someone says to you, you know, you can change that belief, and you go to change the belief, guess what? It's protected by the tube of powerlessness, which says you can't do that. What's the matter with you? Why would you think that? You can't do that. You're weak. Okay? If I decide that I'm going to go ahead and set some boundaries with toxic family members, and I run in, again, to the powerlessness, I can't even get to that belief to change it because the powerlessness protects it by telling me messages like, I can't do that, or I can't do anything without someone else's help. I need someone else's help. I'm weak. Or it just would be illogical or immoral to do something that I want to do to have a healthier life. And so that means that the very first thing we have to do in order to recode our brain and get rid of these lies is to embrace our power, okay? To really believe the truth, which is that we are powerful. And we can change many, many, many things in our lives that will help us have the life that we deserve to live. So we have to get rid of that powerlessness. And this is another one of the reasons I love paper towel tubes, right? You have to unwind it. And of course now it's not going to do what I want to do, but you just got to take it apart and unwind it. It just comes apart like that. And once you get it started, it's actually quite easy. But this is the process you have to go through. You start out small, okay? Look, there's just that little tip, and you start grabbing your power back. And as you get it, then you're going to gain momentum. And you're going to get back more of your power, and more of your power, and more of your power, until guess what? The powerlessness is destroyed. So it's gone. That lie is gone. And now you have to tackle these lies. Okay, but this is so important, you guys. This is so important. I don't ever want you to spend your time getting rid of the negative things in your life, okay? So I don't want you to go into your brain coding and try and undo the lies, okay? That's spending your energy on negative things. What I want you to do is to spend your time coding in the truth and the healthy beliefs. Okay, so say for example you have a patch of garden outside of your house, and right now it's got quite a few weeds in it. I don't want you to go out and spend your time pulling up the weeds. That's not the strategy that will be the best use of your time. What I want you to do is go out and plant flowers. And I want you to plant so many flowers that they choke out the weeds. Okay? That's how you're going to get rid of the weeds, is that you're going to put so much positive belief into your mind, so much truth, that the untruth is choked out and is just meager by comparison. Okay? So I don't want you to spend your time getting rid of those thoughts like I'm not powerful or I'm disgusting. What I want you to do is put in some new ones. Okay? And like I said, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to reprogram your brain to say, I'm powerful. Okay? I can make needed changes in my life. I can set boundaries that keep me safe and healthy. Being powerful is good. Okay? So many of us were taught that being powerful was a bad thing. And I'm strong. I'm strong. I've been through a lot of stuff. So have all of you. And guess what? You're still here. So you're strong. Even though many people taught us that we were weak, so not true. Each and every one of you is so strong. Okay? I'm lovable and worthy. Being loved is my birthright. Okay? When you came into this, the moment you were conceived, the second you came into this world, you were lovable. You were worthy. You're good. And you've had that your entire life. That's your birthright. Okay? Some people may have tried to convince you that wasn't true. And certainly many people have taught you, treated you like that wasn't true. But it's true. Being lovable, being loved is your birthright. Okay? I deserve kindness and compassion. I'm good enough right now, even if I never recover in any other ways. Okay? I don't care if you just sit down right where you are in life and you never make another step further in your recovery. You're good enough. You're deserving of love and kindness and compassion right now. And no matter how much more you recover, you're not going to be more deserving of love later. You're maxed out right now. You're good enough. You're worthy. You're lovable. And that's not going to change. You know, no matter how much farther you go or if you go backwards, not going to change. Still lovable, still worthy. I have nothing to be ashamed of. Shame means I'm a bad person. Whoop, and I'm not. I'm not bad. You're not bad. Nothing about me is shameful. I'm beautiful, lovable, and worthy. Okay? Those are the truths that I'm going to work on coding into my brain. Okay, here we go. The abuse was not my fault. I was a small child who couldn't seduce anyone or make an adult behave badly. God doesn't cause people to be abused. Those were the two ones that were used so strongly on me as a child. And that's not true. You know, there is nothing that a child can do that is deserving of being abused. Just not. Just nothing. And I know some of you struggle with that one in particular. But I want you to work on coding in the truth into your brain. Okay? So focus on learning the truths. Don't focus on digging up the lies. But very first, before everything else, remember that you're powerful. And code that into your brain first. Or else you'll have a hard time getting to the lies that are behind it. Okay? You can change anything that you want to. Some circumstances, I know it's hard. And some circumstances we just can't change. Okay? Like, I don't really like living in Dallas. But my divorce decree has a clause in it that I can't move away as long as my ex-husband lives here in the area. And I don't want to take my son away from his father. So here I am. I don't like it. I can't change that right now. But there are a lot of other things that I can change. So I recognize there are some things that are hard to change or impossible to change. So focus on the things that you can change. Okay? Good luck. I know you guys can do this. I know you can. You're worthy and you're lovable. Take care.